Man, what's really good, man? It's your boy Darian, man. I'm the Bowtie Fragrance Guy. In case you guys have not heard, I just launched my 3 new fragrances in collaboration with Navitus Parfums. I'm gonna make sure I link them where you can go ahead and pick these fragrances up. Guys, there are 3 fragrances. One is Sartorial Noir. We have Eau Debonair, and we also have Divine Aphrodisiac. Guys, right now we're gonna be running a promotion where if you buy 1 fragrance, you get 15% off. 2 fragrances, you get 20% off. 3, 30. 4 plus, you get 40% off your total. Just add it to your cart. You don't even have to do anything. The discount will apply automatically. So go ahead, guys, click on the link and go ahead and pick up these fragrances while supplies last and get the discounts on my 3 new releases in collaboration with Navitus Parfums. What we're going to do right here is go back, way back in the time. YouTube, what's up? It's your guy Darren on the Bowtie Fragrance Guy. Talk about fashion, fragrance, and lifestyle on this channel. So if you enjoy looking good and smelling great and making a good first impression, being the best version of yourself every day, I hope you consider subscribing to the channel. Now make sure you also go ahead and hit that bell icon as well to ensure you get notified anytime I upload new content on the channel. So guys, on today we're going to be diving into the House of Cartier. Now, Cartier to me is a fragrance house that I would say is a little bit underrated. Now, highly touted and known worldwide more for its jewelry and more specifically their watches. It's a fragrance house that when you really start to look at the catalog and the collection of fragrances by this house, they have a lot of really good offerings. Now, I personally have about 15, 16 or so Cartier fragrances in my collection. So what I've decided to do is take what I consider to be the top 10 from my collection and tell you guys about the brand. Now, once again, I will say that these are just my 10 from the fragrances that I have in my collection. Your mileage may vary. You may have some other ones that you would put into this list, which is cool. If you have some others that you think are great that are not on the list, drop them down below, share them with the rest of the audience so that we can learn more, or they can learn more as well about some of your favorite choices from the House of Cartier as well. So guys, we won't belabor the time. We're going to jump right into it. If you want to see what's on my list of the top 10 fragrances from the House of Cartier, then you know how we rock, you know how we get down. Keep it locked right here. Let's get it.
The Bowtie Fragrance Guy.
All right, guys, we're back. Thank you so much for keeping it locked in. Let's go ahead and jump right into this list. The first fragrance up in the 10th spot is kind of sort of, you asked me where it all started. The fragrance was released in the year 1992, and we're talking about the original PASHA de Cartier. This is a classic kind of barbershop scent. Oh man, this thing is still good. Although it was released in the year of 1992, this is one that you can still wear, especially for a more mature gentleman. It has that, again, classic barbershop feel to it. It smells amazing. Mint, lavender is a little bit spicy. Oak moss, labdanum. Again, the perfect barbershop kind of fragrance to wear. I think barbershop fragrances are really good when you're dressed up. So if you're dressed up in a suit, this is the perfect fragrance to wear to complement a suit from this collection of fragrances. It's classic and it's still good to this day. So the 10th spot on this list for me goes to the original PASHA de Cartier Eau de Toilette. All right, guys, now in the 9th spot, Cartier has a collection of fragrance called the Declaration line. And this next fragrance that I want to highlight, I think this is one that kind of gets lost in the shuffle. There's a lot of fragrances in the Declaration collection. You have the original Declaration EDT, you have the Parfum, I think you have an EDP, which the Parfum is a really leathery kind of smoky fragrance. That one's really good as well and unique. You have the new Homme for sure. Declaration, Dayon swore. I mean, it goes on and on. But this is the one that I haven't heard many people speak about this one, and it's a really good scent to me. That's why it's on the list in the 9th spot. This is from the Declaration collection, and this one is called Essence. Essence, and this is in a blue bottle. Now, I went back and forth with this and the newest one from the Declaration line, which is Haute Fraîcheur, which I think is a really, really good fragrance as well. But this one, to me, really unique scent. This is a tea-based fragrance. This is a tea-based scent. It has kind of a very gentlemanly quality to this one as well. This is a really, really well done fragrance. I love the blue bottle. Again, check that out. This is an amazing fragrance right here. And again, tea. If you like tea, then you'll like this fragrance. I love tea-based scents, especially in the spring and summertime. It's that time of the year right now, and it's the perfect time to wear this fragrance. It has tea, lavender, sandalwood on the dry down of this scent, and it really, when it gets into the dry down, starts to get that nice, woody, soft, creamy sandalwood to combine primarily, to my nose, with lavender. But man, check this one out. Like I said, I think this one's really slept on. A lot of people don't talk about it, but it's a good one. And that's why it's in the 9th spot from the Declaration line. This one is called Essence. All right, guys. So in the 8th spot on this list, I've talked a lot about the Rivieras collection, which I think was released around 2019, 2020 from Cartier. But I haven't really talked about this one. And this one is called Insouciance. This is called Insouciance from the Rivieras collection. There were 3 from that collection. It was Insouciance. One in the yellow bottle, I think is Allure. If I'm not mistaken, and then Luxuriance. This one is really, really good. That collection of fragrances to me was some of the freshest, cleanest fragrances that fragrance combination as far as the collection that you can buy. And this stuff is just amazing, guys. It's really fruit. This one has a very fruity opening mixed with iris, primarily, and violet leaves. They're so fresh. They're so fresh. And again, Luxuriance goes in a little bit more fresh, clean, green direction. This one is more fresh and fruity, but it smells absolutely fantastic. This is a collection. If you guys like fresh fragrances, you really need to explore the 3 fragrances from the Rivieras collection, because all 3 of them are really fantastic for the spring and summer. But again, the 8th spot, good on this list for a reason, because it's really good. This is called Insouciance. All right, guys. Now coming in at the 7th spot on this list, we're going back to the PASHA line from Cartier, and this one is called Edition Noir. Edition Noir. Now this particular fragrance, you can still get the mint like you get from the original PASHA de Cartier. But this one, as the name indicates, Edition Noir, is a little bit darker fragrance, and I really like what they did with this scent. This is another fragrance that this reminds me of that I cannot put my finger on it at the moment. But it's a designer fragrance, and I think of it, I'll make sure I mention it, or at least put it somewhere in this video. But anyway, this one is a little sweeter and a little bit more spicy. That's primarily the difference between this and the original. Again, you get the mint like you get from the original, but you get some black pepper. In this one, you get some iris, some violet leaves, and when you dry down, there's this kind of a slight ambery kind of sweetness that you get in this fragrance as well. Very classy, very classy. I really enjoy this one, and that's why it's on the list. So check this one out. Again, this is from the PASHA line. This is PASHA de Cartier Edition Noir. All right, now coming in at the 6th spot, this is a man's fragrance right here. I love this stuff. I wore it the other day, and it just has that very classic vibe to it that I sometimes have a real hankering for. And this one is called SANTOS de Cartier, and this is the concentrate version. Now there's an EDT version as well. The EDT version has silver around the top instead of the gold embellishments on the bottle. Either way, you can't miss. But guys, this is a really, really, really good fragrance. Again, very, very masculine. Definitely has a traditional fougere kind of quality to this fragrance as well. It features a note of lavender. It's really spicy as well. It has some basil in here, some patchouli. It's slightly ambery and resinous as well. Again, a very, very masculine kind of barbershop kind of feel to this fragrance as well, with the addition of those spices. And primarily the spice that you're going to get out of this is the nutmeg and the basil. Really spicy, really aromatic fragrance right here, and I absolutely love this stuff. When I'm in the mood for something that's really masculine, really kind of has a classy feel about it, this is very appropriate for suit, you know, shirt and tie as well as black tie kind of a fragrance. And you can get this for a good price, man. It's been through a couple of reformulations, and this particular style bottle was the latest. But any version of this fragrance that you can get is going to work. Now, the performance on this one isn't as good as it used to be because this was released in 1982. And I know it's very hard to get your hand on something from that far back, but even the formulations after that are still good. But just check it out, guys. It's on the list for a reason. If you like classic kind of fragrances, this is one you'll enjoy. This is called SANTOS de Cartier. All right, guys. Now, coming in at the 5th spot on this list, I talked about this fragrance not too long ago, and this is called L'Oud&santal. L'Oud&santal, and this is an amazing fragrance that is centered around the notes of iris and honey. The opening of this fragrance is very aromatic. You have lavender, and you have these kind of green undertones to this fragrance in the opening as well. I think there's some artemisia in here, maybe some basil if I'm not mistaken. But when it starts to dry down, you get some violet leaves in here. The iris and the honey are mainly what you're gonna get out of the scent though. And it's absolutely amazing. If you're just talking about the way it smells by itself, it probably could have inched up a little bit higher. I don't get the best performance from this fragrance, but man, I will tell you, for the time that it remains on my skin, it is an experience. And that's why it's on the list. It smells fantastic. Again, that iris honey combination is to die for. But it's on the list for a good reason, and that's why it's in the 5th spot. Again, this one is called L'Oud&santal. All right, guys, in the 4th spot, this is a fragrance I've talked about a lot on my channel. So I will go ahead and show you the bottle from the Riviera's collection. This one is called LUXURIANCE. LUXURIANCE. I have about 3 bottles of this stuff, man. And, you know, it's just, oh my gosh. It's green, it's fresh, clean, almost aldehydic kind of opening. You have some pistachio in here, which is the main accord that gives this kind of nutty nuance to this otherwise very fresh and clean fragrance DNA. And it's just something, guys, again, if you like fresh scents, you got to put your nose on this stuff. You have to. It is highly talked about and touted on this channel because, for a good reason, because I really enjoy and love this scent DNA. When you go outside in the summertime and you want to smell fresh, clean, and a little bit unique, this is the type of scent that you want to have in your collection. So make sure you guys check this one out from the Riviera's collection. This one is called LUXURIANCE. All right, guys, now coming in the number 3 spot on this list, I will tell you that this fragrance is as good as advertised, and that's called Déclaration d'Unsoir. Déclaration d'Unsoir. Now, this particular fragrance is one that I heard a lot about coming into the fragrance community. It took me a while to get my hands on this scent, but again, fellas, if you haven't tried it, it's as good as advertised. It is centered around the note of rose. Now, when it opens up, you get some spices in there. There's cardamom, there's caraway in this as well. Again, you get the rose, and then you get a very warm, creamy sandalwood that comes into play when this fragrance starts to dry down. It comes in there with that rose, takes the scent DNA to the next level. It is so good when it dries down. And like I said, again, for one, a fragrance that has been talked about so much in the fragrance community, this one did not fail me, but it met my expectation from everything I've heard about it. So guys, this is one you probably heard about as well, but if you haven't tried it, again, from me to you, I will tell you it is as good as it has been advertised. So check this one out. Again, this is called Déclaration d'Unsoir. All right, guys, and coming in at the number 2 spot, this fragrance was probably the best designer fragrance released in the year of 2020. And of course, this is PASHA de Cartier Parfum. PASHA de Cartier Parfum When I compare this to the original, this is just my kind of scent. I favor this a lot more. Oh my gosh. This fragrance is slightly boozy in the opening. You have some sandalwood in here. You have balsam fir, which to me gives this almost green piney nuance to this fragrance. It's slightly sweet and resinous. There's labdanum in here, benzoin, and patchouli as well. Guys, this is an amazing fragrance. It's just an amazing scent, and you don't oftentimes smell a fragrance as good as this on the designer side range of things. On the designer side of things, this is one of the most well put together, I'll say it that way, designer fragrances definitely released in the last couple years. This stuff is fantastic. Stuff is fantastic. So guys, I recommend you check it out. Many of those notes that I talked to you about, those are just the main notes I kind of get to my nose, smell, sound interesting to you. You might want to check this one out. It's in the number 2 spot for a reason. This is PASHA de Cartier Parfum. All right, guys, and last but not least, this is the smallest bottle in my entire Cartier collection, but this is the best Cartier fragrance that I put my nose on. It's from a kind of exclusive collection. There's maybe 5 or 6 fragrances in this collection. It's more like Cartier's more exclusive line of fragrances, and this one is called oud&santal. Oud&santal, and this is just a 15 ml bottle that I have. The set that I had 3 from the collection that came in, and I think it retails for about $250 for 3 15 ml bottles. You can find this in a 75 ml bottle, and it's going to run you about $350-$360. Again, it's kind of their exclusive line. They did a collection of fragrances that featured a note of oud. There's one that I really want to get my nose on called Oud and Amber. It's a oud, and I think it's called Oud and Ambre, if I'm not mistaken. But again, oud&santal. And as the name indicates, that you probably would imagine with a name like that, this is oud and sandalwood. And all I can tell you is that it's amazing. That's all I can tell you is that this is amazing. And it may be unfair to compare this fragrance to the rest of the range, because this exclusive line that they did, they spent a little bit more time with these fragrances. But you guys got to put your nose on this stuff, man. Like I said, I really want to try Oud and Ambre or Amber. I think that's the name of it. But right now, this oud&santal is absolutely phenomenal. It performs like a monster. And again, it really blends primarily sandalwood and oud, and it works like a charm. So the number 1 Cartier fragrance in my collection goes to this one right here, and it's called oud&santal. All right, guys, that is it, man. That's my time. I hope you enjoyed this list today, as I gave you the top 10 fragrances in my Cartier fragrance collection. As always, I sincerely appreciate your time and your attention to these videos, because I know you guys don't have to watch, but you do, and I sincerely appreciate that. Now, don't forget to make sure you take a few moments to go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. And make sure you're sharing these videos out to some other folks that you think could use this information or find it entertaining. Because I'm your guy, Darren. I'm the Bowtie Fragrance Guy. I love to look good, and of course, I love to smell amazing. So until next time, guys, keep looking good, keep smelling even better. I'll catch you, bye-bye, on the flip side. Peace.